Moth sat there, relishing in the night sky as the moonbeams flashed down onto her golden pelt. She perked her ears as crickets all around her chirped. She was a rogue cat that didn't really have a purpose in life, or at least that's what she thought. She sighed, looking off. The cats she lived with were multiples of many cats. You had Charcoal, Lion, Blair, Blue Glare, and Brooke. She knew all those cats, but she wouldn't really say that she was particularly friends with one of them specifically. But she wasn't complete strangers with them. She sighed, looking off into the distance. As she heard footsteps behind her, it got louder, and a creak of the barn floor echoed among the farm clearing. She didn't know who was there far off behind her, but she knew a cat was there. She would be able to tell if it was a dog or a badger. She sighed as paw steps began getting slightly closer. She scratched her claws in the rock, waiting for the perfect moment to recognize the cat. It quickly hit her nose as she realized who it was. "Hello," she sighs. There was no response, and she rolled her eyes, waiting for the tomcat to finally let his voice be heard. Was he still trying to make an attempt to scare her, or was he just trying to make the joke less funny? She waited there for a while longer, her claws digging even more into the rock. As she waited, dawn began to rise. "Darn, I thought I could scare you," Lion laughed, sitting next to her in a quick, rapid motion. "Finally," Moth said, side-eyeing him. "I thought you would never actually realize that I already heard you. You are never going to be able to scare me." She laughed. "I will always try," Lion said, nudging her with his elbow. "But I'm probably taking on your word, and I'll never scare you." Silence greeted them for a second, but he bounced back up again, his voice echoing among the field. "But I will sure try," he said. "And you are not gonna stop me," he said, laughing, nudging her again. Moth rolled her eyes, sighing as the sun began rising in the sky. "Oh, I'm sure," she said, not being as serious as usual. The sun rose from the large sky. She always liked looking at the sky, and actually quite liked having time to herself, but every time that she had someone to talk to, it was better than just slumping off and sleeping all day. Which, most of the time, that's what Clan Cats thinks rogues did, but that's not how they actually act. To be honest, most cats just really think that Clan Cats think kitty pets are the lazy ones, but some can be pretty rude to rogues as well. They didn't do anything wrong. Her and her friends were just barn cats, and they weren't really aggressive to the clans. Most of the time, the Clan Cats weren't even there. With an extinction of ThunderClan, WindClan most of the time spent time in the RiverClan camp, since RiverClan was also quite missing from the territories. She got up, stretching, and Lion looked over to her as the sun hit its peak in the sky. "The beautiful sunrise," he said, looking up at it. It seemed to be quite mesmerizing for Lion, and she didn't have anything to say against it. "Sure is," Moth said, standing up. "I'm gonna head back in the barn," she said, looking back, almost feeling the commotion beginning to commence. She turned around, slowly walking back. Her paw steps echoed among the field. It was a quaint home that they lived in, and she was very easily heard amongst everything. "I'm gonna borrow some cats for a hunting patrol, if that's okay," Lion said, following her. Food would be nice, Moth thought, and nodded to him. "Sure, get whoever you want. Honestly, I don't think it matters," she said, looking at him. "But whatever." She headed back. Blue glare greeted her. Well, not formally, but was there standing in the way. Blair and Blue Glare. "Oh yeah, whatever, Gatorade," Brooks said, obviously talking to Blue. Moth rolled her eyes. Brooke was always slightly obnoxious to her, but never really enough to annoy her. "What is everyone doing?" she asked. "Yeah, did I miss something?" Lion said, looking where Blair and Blue left, and then back to Brooke and Moth. No, Brooke said. "Just the usual barn rituals." A smirk crossed her face, and Lion rolled her eyes and began walking outwards, following Brooke, who led the way. Moth followed Lion not long after, quickly racing. "Look at those lovebirds," Brooke said, smirking towards Blue and Blair's direction. "It makes me sick." She rolled her eyes. Blair teased with an evil little giggle. Lion approached them, and Moth followed, Brooke following. "Oh gosh," she thought. Hopefully there wasn't actually something between them. She side-eyed Blue. What is it?" Blair would question, tipping her head. "All right, lovebirds, no more chatter. You guys need to join me for a hunt," Lion said. "Oh, when I said you had to go, that you could go with a patrol, I didn't want to be on it." Moth thought in her head. Blair felt her pelt bristle at Lion's words, and Moth could easily see it. "Don't steal my lines," Brooke said, with a threatening look towards Lions. "Let's all go hunting," she sighed, not really caring anymore at this point. "Too bad, too sad. Let's go, everyone," Lion said. Were Brooke and Lion's ears right now? They're getting an argument over this. All of them slowly began trotting, following Lion, who obviously decided to be the leader, which Moth really didn't care about, but wasn't fitting since she never was even ever in a group to begin with. Yeah, Brooks yelped. Something else following it, but Moth couldn't really catch it in time. Lion looked over. All of you, quiet. Me and Moth will go west, while Blue and Blair go east, Lion said, in a tone that really didn't intimidate Moth. Fine, Blue Blair growled. West, yes, which way is west? She grumbled, not even actually knowing which way it was. All the cats looked at her for a second, and Blue Blair began laughing. Blair side-eyeing him. Blue Blair stalked away with the last chuckle at her joke. Please don't ask me. Please don't ask me, Lion sighed, stalking over. Moth sighed, stalking over with him. Let's just get some barn mice or something, she thought. It was the easiest way. Plus, there were lots of barn mice in the barn, of course. And it would make a good, plentiful food source. A rabbit is something I'd like better, he said, puffing out his chest. She touched his tail on his shoulder quickly. Well, how about you get that? She pointed her muzzle towards a hare that was hopping around in the field, obviously too incompetent to realize that they were there. Lion tensed at the touch of her tail, and then nodded. I will, he mouthed towards her, slowly and very slowly edging towards it, his huge tabby body, slowly, quite fully casting a shadow across the field, but the rabbit still didn't notice. Her breathing tensed. Was he gonna go? He had barely moved since she had told him what to do, and she couldn't help but just want to shove him towards the hare. All right, he said again, this time actually saying it, creepily slowly out and sheathing his claws. The hare saw him and rapidly began racing off, but Moth quickly followed and went to help if he couldn't handle it. Lion swiftly raced after it, grabbing it in his huge claws, biting its neck, and it slowly died. Decent catch, she thought, as he shook it one last time to make sure it managed to die fully and it wouldn't just run out from his jaws at any second. She looked at him quizzically, raising one eyebrow. "You managed to get it," she said. "Well, you can go. Great," she sighed, licking her left paw in a rhythmic pattern. "I'm gonna go hunt by myself," she said, knowing that she could probably do better than Lion. That Tom honestly irritated her sometimes, but she tried not to show it, knowing it could hurt his feelings, and she wasn't that mean. "Let's see if we can find some more," he said. "It might be better if we're doing it together." "No, I think I'll just do it by myself," she said. But, she thought for a moment. "I'll go hunt over by Four Trees." The clans hadn't had a full moon meeting forever. She raced off towards the fields, the grass and wind whipping her fur back. She slowly and quietly entered the camp. WindClan had not been here for moons. She smelt it. Then she remembered. WindClan had taken ThunderClan's place not long ago in their camp, knowing it was more guarded and shielded from the environment troubles of huge thunderstorms. The camp was actually quite nice and had lots of flowers that covered the walls. The medicine den had 2 shelves and had another room with 3 nests. The nests seemed to be in perfect shape still. She found the exit and raced up the top, the wind making her fur fly back again. She found 4 trees, slowly creeping upwards and seeing the rock, racing on top of it. She loved the feeling of standing above everything, as though if she was a clan cat, she'd be a leader. And everything fades to white. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. And I think that was really cool because, actually, I did this with a really cool group of people, and there will be a lot of more videos. And I'm sorry my voice sounds like a child. I mean, I am not an experienced, but, you know, my microphone sucks. But, yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from Little Sprout Stories, linked down below, and that's where I got the idea to do this. So, yeah, that's all for today, and there will be more, and like and subscribe and ring the notification bell. Bye!